Good morning, everyone. So I've recently just posted week 10 material, which is depreciation break even. But I also want to go through and explain some of the in-class activities. I didn't have time to do the in-class activity with the lecture, so this will just go through a couple that I've put up on Blackboard for you. And some of the answer keys as well are there for you. So the very first one that we're going to be taking a look at is the break-even analysis. So Michael Agama is the owner of a pizza place called Punjab Pizza, and it's considering a new oven which will bake the firm's signature dish, the vegetarian pizza. Now, this is one of those financial management discussions where not only are we looking for break even, we're looking for break even based on two different scenarios. Now, these two different scenarios are different types of ovens. So oven A can handle 20 pizzas in an hour. The fixed costs associated with oven A are $20,000, and the variable costs are $2 per pizza. The next one, so $20,000 is the upfront cost, and that's what we're going to have to spend. And the $2 pizza is per. Oven B is larger; it can do 40 pizzas an hour. It's $30,000, and the variable cost is $1.25. So in the lecture, I don't know if you saw, but we talked about how you can increase your fixed assets to lower your variable price. So this is exactly what's happening here. You've increased your fixed assets more with the idea that you reduce your variable price. And basically, the more pizzas you sell, the better. So if we look to our first answer, first we want to look at what is the formula for break-even analysis. And it is fixed costs divided by selling price minus variable costs. So fixed cost divided by selling price minus variable cost. Now this is assuming we're only selling one product. So here you want to say, okay, so for oven A will be $20,000 divided by 14. So $14 is the selling price per pizza regardless of oven, minus $2. So that's our variable. So we want to go ahead and do that math, and I'll just pull my calculator up. So that'll be $20,000 divided by 12, which is 1,667. So that is the amount of, where did that go? The amount of pizzas that we had to sell to break even for that particular one. So oven B is $30,000 divided by $14 is the pizza price minus $1.25. And so what we're going to figure out here is do that same math. So it's $30,000 divided by $12.75. 2,353. So what we're looking at here is that our fixed or our break-even price based on buying these two new ovens. For oven A, it's 1,667. For oven B, it's 2,353. So that's how many we have to sell. Now, that doesn't mean that's all of the amount of pizzas we're going to sell. We're probably going to sell quite a bit more. So here they give you a couple other suggestions. They say, okay, so what if Mr. Agama expects to sell 9,000 pizzas, or if he expects to sell 12,000? Given that information, which one do you think is going to be best? So what we're going to do is do some very basic math. So if it's oven A, we know that we're going to sell 9,000 pizzas at a price of $12, which will get us 9,000 times $12. Or oven B is 9,000 pizzas times a price of $12.75. So it's not a price, but that's our take home after our variable costs. So I'll just do that as well. And basically what we're looking for is this is how much we're making. So we're making an extra $6,000 or $7,000. It's really not that much, but we say, okay, so if we want to subtract our $20,000 from this and our $30,000 from this, what are we now making in the year? So oven A costs us $20,000 in fixed costs, so therefore we're making $88,000. Oven B costs us $30,000 in fixed costs, $84,000. So what you would do here is you would say, we should purchase oven A, right? Because we're making $88,000, we're making $3,250 more, so it just kind of makes sense. Now, that's if we sell $9,000. So what if we sold $12,000? So same thing, we would do oven A, 12,000 pizzas times $12, and oven B, 12,000 pizzas times $12.75. So we do a little bit of math again. 1,000 times 12, or 12,000 times 12.75. And basically what we're looking for here is how much money are we making. Now the difference between the two ovens is $10,000. So that's that magic number. So really, when we think about that, as long as we can make more than $10,000 by purchasing that bigger oven, then it's a good decision. So here we go. So we're making $124,000. This one we make $123,000. So we actually are just a little bit shy of that actual number. So we need to figure out at what point does it make sense for us to buy that bigger oven. Because if we do 20,000 pizzas, right, that's going to be a huge difference. So if we did 20,000, just as an example, now we're making $5,000 more per year, which is fantastic. So you can see how these things can change. At $9,000, it doesn't make sense for the bigger oven. At $12,000, it's still not quite there. At $20,000, for sure, we're making $5,000 more. So what I would ask of you, and there are the answers here, is could you figure out at what value should Mr. Agama switch over ovens? So all the answers are right here. This will actually, and this is a little bit of way of saying, okay, at what point do we actually want to switch it over? But I'll let you try that on your own before you go ahead. Next part, Breakeven 2, is going to be a multiple product review. So basically what we're doing here is that I want you to go through and understand what kind of break-even prices do you need based on different selling prices, different variable costs, and different percentages of revenue. So what you'll be doing here is that you'll be working through the percentages. So what you'll say is the selling price of $1 times a variable cost of 0.65 times 0.25 will give us what percentage of our revenue. And it'll show that it's going to be 9% of our revenue. So what you're going to do here is try to break down how much revenue we're going to make total and what percentage of revenue does each individual area make you. Then at that point, then you can answer some of these questions. So fixed cost divided by the gross margin percentage. So we have figured out that we make on average 64% gross margin percentage. Then you would take your fixed cost and divide them by that. So $550, which is the $250 estimated labor and $300 of estimated rental, divided by 0.64 will give us $859. So we only need to sell $859 worth of soft drinks, wine, coffee, and candy in order for us to break even. Then it asks you how much wine would you expect to sell at the break-even point. Now this, we know that wine is 25% of our revenue, so this is quite simple. We would just figure out what wine is at 25%. So that's $214 worth, and then divide by how much we're charging. So then it'll give us how many units of wine we need to sell, which is about 123 glasses of wine. Why we do this and why we think it's important is because not only are we looking at break even, and that's good, we're looking at the percentage of revenue that each of the individual items gives us and the cost of those. And we're looking at now, when we look at breaking down our break even for wine. At minimum, we need to order 123 glasses worth of wine to break even, and we probably want to add on more. But that gives you some minimums for sure to work with. So it's a multiple product breakdown. I zoomed through that, but at this point, I want you to be able to look at these questions and be able to attempt and complete them on your own. This should not be rocket science. This is one of those things that your boss might ask you, hey, I need you to set up an order sheet, or I need you to figure out how much we need to sell, or I need you to figure out what each item, how much we're making off each item. And you shouldn't have to ask them how to do it. You should be able to do this. So those are the two break-even questions for you as a in-class activity. The formulas are provided, the answers are provided, so that should be fairly simple for you to work through. And then, of course, we have a depreciation question. I'm not going to go through this depreciation question because we have quite a bit, but there is an activity here for you, and it's a ride-on lawnmower for a new golf course. So using the above information, determine both the annual and 5-year depreciation, and the above information is not there. Oh, I see. Okay. There it is. Okay, so if you're in this question and you can't find the above information, I hope you're watching this video and you just need to pull that down. It's all right in there for you. Sorry about that, but yeah, so all your information is right there. Mower costs her $35,000. She thinks it'll last her 5 years or 10,000 cutting hours. At the end of 5 years, she thinks she'll get $3,000 back for it for parts or whatever they can get. So that's your residual value or your salvage value. And they want to use the mower at least 4 days a week, 8 hours a day. So based on that different types of information, you should be able to do the straight line method, the units of output method, and then also make a suggestion based on those. So that is the question. Those are the answers. That is this week's material for you. Break even and depreciation. Next week we'll meet. We can go over this as well as we can go over the new material. And then there'll be just one more week's material after that. Final test, final assignment, and you will be done. Have a lovely day. And I hope you're all doing well. And let me see if I can never find the stop recording button on this. There we go.